Why is the S&P 500 at resistance? Why is the Dow Jones at resistance? Why isn't the NASDAQ at resistance? Why the chicken crossed the road?
Why'd you do it? Why did you do it?
At least one of these will be answered in today's video. Back looking at the stock market, the economy. We're on companies by market cap. Here in the economy sphere, we're looking at the traditional world of finance, going over some of the behemoth conglomerates that rule the world and continue to be behemoth conglomerates. Before we jump over to the indexes, take a look at some technicals. Let's see what's really going on here. Quick disclaimer, do apologize for any audio interruptions. Not only have I been stricken with horrible illness and disease known as being alive, I have not only that ailment, but in tandem with that, I have what's called being alive, and with neighbors who have no regard for others alive around them. So do apologize greatly if background audio presents itself that I have no control over. So please bear with me during times of fear and uncertainty here in the sphere, it would appear. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome back to the channel. Please drop a like on the video. Algorithmically, I gotta let you know to subscribe, stick around till the end to not miss any of what's going on, and we hope to see you in the next one. Now, looking at the list of largest companies by market cap, Apple, $2.7 trillion by market cap, continuing its trajectory upward here. A steady uptrend for the last 30 days here, continuing to print higher highs and higher lows. Therefore, an uptrend, would appear to be in play. Down about 0.5% today, though. The Saudis, almost $2.5 trillion, $2.38 trillion by market cap, up, 2.25% today, in a bit of an uptrend as well over the last 30 days, continuing to print those higher highs there. If higher lows continue, perhaps the uptrend continues. Microsoft in a similar situation, just over $2 trillion by market cap, down 0.75% today, but in an uptrend perhaps overall. From the last couple weeks here, at least, we do appear to have broken from a bit of a range semi-recently. The $1.5 trillion Google down 0.69% today appears to be potentially making its way upward out of a range. We are now seeing some highs past a swing several weeks ago. Maybe the market structure has changed and perhaps the uptrend is continuing. The $1.4 trillion Amazon in an uptrend, down more than 1.4% today. Those we can see trending upward over the last 30 days. Now, just under $1 trillion, Tesla, $898 billion by market cap, appears to be plateauing slightly here from its uptrend, moving upward over the last 30 days, though more recently, perhaps in a bit of a consolidation pattern. Will the uptrend continue, or is a reversal forming? So these are just some very basic conclusions to come to when looking at a very generic line chart. All of these principles, trends, lows, highs, those all apply even here at a very, very small generic scale. But as you can see, Berkshire Hathaway, similar situation to Tesla, in my opinion. Its uptrend seems to be, trading sideways here. It would appear we do need to see some highs past whatever that is not too long ago. But some of the sort of major trending entities here, perhaps Meta, ranging sideways, perhaps a phase of accumulation. Meta has taken a tumble semi-recently, though I do believe will return to its, triumphant status eventually once it has reestablished itself in its perhaps Web3 desires. NVIDIA trading, sideways but upward, it would appear, the uptrend, consolidating in a, semi-sideways manner here. Perhaps a break upward is to play out, though we'll have to see. Johnson & Johnson, we looked at not too long ago from a technical perspective, so we can see the downtrend is slightly continuing here. Where will we find support? But for the most part, a lot of the major companies are continuing their trend upward, except for some, some biotech, which unfortunately is not doing as well. Now, checking out the indexes, the S&P 500 appears to be at resistance. If we do consider this overhead down trend line here, it would appear bearish robos in play ever since the end of February there have suggested downward price action and have saved us from about 16.25% in downside. At the moment, we have rallied upward here ever so slightly, coming off of my support level 38.12 down below. I do believe is where we are likely to return to over the following coming weeks. I suspect significant resistance off of this downtrend line and or this horizontal level right overhead. 43.05 is where we will have to see price action interacting above to potentially consider a break of resistance, perhaps confirmation of support. And if bullish robos were to return, we may potentially anticipate continued moves to the upside here, though in play, bearish robos do suggest continued interaction towards significant support, in my opinion. So right now, if you were able to make the higher risk mini trade off of my support level to resistance, you've been able to potentially capitalize on a 10% upswing on the S&P 500, though in my opinion, with bearish parameters still to consider here, a broader downtrend may be something to keep in mind. But a much longer term uptrend, you see an uptrend in a downtrend, up, down, and sideways, it can go anywhere. All these reasons why the 200 weekly moving average does suggest that a lifetime uptrend may be intact. The economy will recover, continue to create new highs, and we are making our way toward the future. Though right now, sideways may still be plaguing us. So we'll have to see just how significant resistance overhead will be. We'll have to see just how significant these bearish robos are, and if they remain, we'll have to see how significant support can become near my 38.12 level, or perhaps off this weekly moving average. Though down below, we have support waiting for us at 32.36, or worst case, 29.52, if we do continue all the way downward. Looking at the Dow of the Jones, and a bit of a similar situation in a sense where we have rallied upward off of a visualized key level down below. 29,373 is a level of support we have not physically interacted with. We got very close to and then rallied away from directly into my descending downtrend line here locally overhead. That is currently giving us a hard time, and until we see several weekly candles interacting up and out of it, we do still consider it in play as resistance. And so right now we just need to see further confirmations before we jump into this highly volatile situation. And so you already know we invest 20% at support, 30% based off of our trend lines, and 50% based on EngineeringRobo. And so when two of our chosen three robos return to a bullish state, that's when we invest 50%. 20% can be at support down below. Still, as I mentioned, 29,373 is the support level you can consider accumulating at. At the moment, that is correlating with the 200 weekly moving average, suggesting perhaps a significant area of support is waiting for us. All the way down below, though, worst case, 26,306 if we do continue any sort of downside. 36,565 overhead as resistance waiting for us if we do continue our way upward. Once we are free from this downtrend line, that's where you invest that 30% ratio. Already mentioned 20% at support, 50% with EngineeringRobo's confirmations. Now the NASDAQ in its own situation here above its local downtrend line, making its way toward resistance overhead with bullish robos in play. So technically, you were heavily, suggested to be considering investing your 50% EngineeringRobo based investment ratio ever since the 25th of July there around 180. And so at the moment, you have been experiencing this brief upside toward that overhead resistance waiting for us at 210. Watch out for that. We'll need to see highs above it, interactions with it as support. and bullish robos to remain for us to consider, bullish continued upside. At the moment here, I potentially suspect interaction toward resistance, though we may trade sideways here until perhaps further notice. I do believe, sideways consolidation and a strange range of strange may be affecting us here for several months to perhaps a year before we continue to see some, dramatic upward growth. But with bullish robos in play, we do potentially expect that very short-term pump to the upside. Watch out for aforementioned resistance. Down below support, potentially 120. We also have that 200 weekly moving average suggesting the lifetime uptrend in play. And we even have this ascending trend line here that correlates with lows from like 100 years ago. So we just got to go with the flow and watch out for Robo. Always wait for the confirmations no matter the situation. Let me know down below your thoughts on today's video. We can go over more news and fundamentals in the next one, or we can keep it charts and technicals, whichever you prefer. Please let me know. Thank you so much for tuning in. Try EngineeringRobo for free with a link in the description. Check out all the other social media and tune in for the next one.